Okay, call regular city council meeting Monday, September 22, 2014 to order. Clerk, call roll, please.
Alderman Putoff. Here. Ferrari. Here. Waldorf. Here. Koshis. Here. Perez. Here. Radke. Here. Mueller. Here. Sapienza. Here. Mayor Harrell.
Here. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do you have any public comment cards filled out?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, we have a motion to receive the minutes and place on file.
So moved, Your Honor. Second, Your Honor.
I have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Waldorf to receive the minutes and place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Do we have a motion to receive the reports and place on file?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
I have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Ferrari to receive the reports and place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Move on to committees. Finance and Safety Services. Chairman Alderman Putoff.
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to present to the City Council disbursements for September 24th, year 2014. The disbursements are $2,918,784.76. I'll make a motion disbursements be paid in the usual manner.
I have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Radke to receive the disbursements placed on file and the bills paid in the usual manner. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Aye. Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, we have the Prue Fire Department report for a period ending September 13th, 2014. I'll make a motion to accept that report and place it on file.
Do we have a second?
Second, Your Honor.
I have a motion by Alderman Ferrari, second by Alderman Putoff to receive the Peru Fire Department report and place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Also, I'd like to remind everybody that our ordinance section 42.1, open burning of leaves, is in effect. And I'd like to get the newspaper and radio a copy of this. And one thing we need to remember is number 7, the chief of police or the fire chief may prohibit the open burning of leaves when atmospheric conditions or other conditions at the location of the fire constitute a hazard of public nuisance. Other than that, everybody can read the rules and that. That's all I have.
Okay. Is there anything further?
Just one other item from Finance and Safety. I want to reiterate the Treasurer's notes for April 2014. Very positive that during the month of August, $4,229,000 was invested in negotiable CDs, and the self-insurance reserve fund is increased to a reserve amount of $7,020,453. We're currently 1/3 of the way through fiscal 2015. The funds are running very smoothly and all within acceptable budget range. Is there anything I failed to mention, Treasurer?
No, and in fact, Alderman, you hit that very well.
Okay, if there's nothing further from Finance, we'll move on to Public Services. Chairman Alderman Waldorf.
I'll start, Your Honor. First off, I have the electric financial report for the month of August 2014. And during this period, we showed revenues over expenditures in the amount of $416,081.05. I'd like to make a motion that we approve this, accept this report and place it on file.
Second, Your Honor.
I have a motion by Alderman Lukosius, second by Alderman Mueller to receive the electric finance report, August 2014, placed on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Next, I have the Electric Department monthly operations and maintenance report projects for June and July of 2014. I'd like to make a motion that we accept this report and place it on file.
Second.
I have a motion by Alderman Lukosius, second by Alderman Waldorf to receive the electric monthly operations and maintenance report and place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Your Honor, I have the City of Peru Revenue Expense Report as of August 31st for the Water and Sewer Fund. This report shows in the current period, we show revenues over expenditures of $249,699.57. I'd like to make a motion that we receive this report and place it on file, please.
I'll second that, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Lukosius to receive water finance report, August 2014, placed on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
Next, Your Honor, I'll make a motion to award the Water Street Utilities improvements to the lowest bidder, Opperman Construction, in the amount of $236,019.50. Eric, would you like to say a few words about that, please?
Yeah, this project will take care of the construction to move the utilities, water, and sewer out of the roadway. Once that work is completed, we'll be looking at restoring the road base on Water Street there and improving the integrity of that road.
Thank you. Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to award the 2014 curb improvements. That's right, we don't have a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, a second for the Water Street Utilities improvement to Opperman for $236,019.50. Okay, is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez. Radke. Mueller. Sapienza.
Motion approved.
Next, Your Honor, I'll make a motion to award the 2014 curb improvements to the lowest bidder, Lajinsky Concrete Finishing Company, in the amount of $30,996.61.
Second that.
Have a motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Sapienza to award the 2014 curb improvements to lowest bidder, Lajinsky Concrete, in the amount of $30,996.61. Is there any discussion? A roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, the next item is a discussion and approval of expenditures to the Illinois Valley Excavating Incorporated for approximately $18,660 for State Street sewer improvements. This is a crushed sewer that goes down the hill that needs to be replaced to improve the drainage up on State Street. Eric, do you have anything else?
Yeah, so if you remember, about a month and a half back, we did some drainage improvements on State Street. Our city guys did that work. Everything seemed to be working well, and we were experiencing a little backup, and over time it became a little worse. So we had Michelini TV that line to look, discovered that we did have some blockage, so we excavated that area and did a little more investigation and discovered that the pipe going over the hillside down to Pike Street is damaged and crushed. So in order to improve that, we need to get a boring contractor in and actually bore that pipe. It's about a 100-foot bore. And the reason for that is if we open dig that, we'd have to clear the trees on that hillside, and you can imagine if we clear those trees, we'll probably lose that hillside. So it's not an option. So this is our best avenue.
Second that.
Have a motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Sapienza to approve the expenditure to Illinois Valley Excavating for approximately $18,660. Is there any further discussion? A roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Motion approved.
Next, Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to approve expenditures for water and sewer extension for the new hangars at the Illinois Valley Regional Airport.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Lukosius, second by Alderman Waldorf to approve expenditures for water and sewer extensions for new hangars at the Illinois Valley Regional Airport.
Eric, you want to bring us up to date on that?
Yeah, on this one, basically we're extending water and sewer to the north from the current location. What we have is a current hangar that's being built and proposed future hangars beyond that. This extension will take care of those hangars, the service. We have about 800 lineal feet of water main and about 300 lineal feet of sewer. Engineer's estimate for that's about $60,000 for the water main and $35,000 for the sewer. We are planning to handle the water main in-house, and then a portion or all of the sewer work will be out for quote.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, there's a motion by Alderman LaCosta, second by Alderman Waldorf. We'll have a roll call vote. Clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, I have the approved public library cash account summary for August 2014. Revenues under expenditures were $34,063.11. I'd like to make a motion to accept the report and place it on file.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Sapienza, second by Alderman Mueller to receive approved public library cash account summary, August 2014, placed on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved.
Your Honor, I have the Peru Recreation Fund cash account summary for the period ending August 31st of 2014. Total funds available are $36,467.66. This appears to be roughly $8,667 over the same time last year. Make a motion, we accept this report and place it on file.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Mueller, second by Alderman Waldorf to receive the recreation report and place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Anything further from public?
Nothing further from Public Services, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, report city attorney, ordinances, resolutions.
Yes, Your Honor, there were two hearings before the Plan Commission. The first was a petition of the Plan Commission itself seeking a zoning reclassification for property at the northeast corner of 21st Street and Marquette Road. The Plan Commission had requested that property be rezoned from B2 Community Shopping District to B5 Office Business District, which would be a lot less uses permitted within the more restrictive B5 Office Business District. All the businesses up there are professional offices at this time, but then they wouldn't be able to build a gas station there, a lumber station or whatever. That was initiated by Ken Mullen when he came in to change the zoning on his parcels, and they said, well, we want the whole area changed. So that was passed unanimously, the recommendation back to the City Council.
Okay, do we have a motion to receive the minutes placed on file?
So moved, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Ferrari, second by Alderman Mueller to receive the minutes and place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
The ordinance, amending the zoning ordinance, it'll be lots 4 and 5 in Marquette Manor Commercial District, be it ordained that the property is rezoned to B5 Office Business District.
Have a motion to receive the ordinance as written and read.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Ferrari, second by Alderman Mueller to receive the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Aye. Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Motion approved.
Next is the hearing of Joanne McLaughlin. She owns 2 lots at 1802 Pulaski Street, and she desires to sell 27 feet, the south 27 feet of those 2 lots to her neighbor, Jennifer. And this just authorizes the division of lots of record, unanimously recommended by the Plan Commission.
Okay, we have a motion to receive the minutes placed on file.
Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Mueller, second by Alderman Ferrari to receive the minutes placed on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
So an ordinance approving the division of real estate, be ordained, there any new infrastructure or anything else. In fact, part of Jennifer's driveway already encroaches upon that property. So you're waiving the requirements of the subdivision ordinance because all it is a division, and it's already improved the property, and allowing the division off of that 27 feet to add on to the property to the south.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the ordinance as written and read.
Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Mueller, second by Alderman Lukosius to approve the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Your Honor. Joanne is a relative of mine, so I will be abstaining from that motion.
Okay, is it any further discussion? Roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Aye. Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Sorry, President.
Mueller.
Abstain.
Sapienza.
Aye.
Abstain.
Motion approved.
Next, we have an ordinance establishing procedures for public comment. And now this would not only be for city council meetings, but it would also be for any body of the city, design review board, plan commission, zoning board of appeals, any committee meetings, and essentially follows that that has been the policy back on the bookshelf with a couple of exceptions. If there's an agenda item, you can speak before the meeting by putting in your name, and then you can only speak on the agenda item at the podium, so you can be captured on camera. At the end of the meeting, it would be any matter of public concern, but they're going to use the microphone so you can, it'll be recorded, but you won't necessarily be videoed because it'll be out of the reach of the camera. You can do that from your seat. The ordinance, Alderman Mueller pointed out to me, there was just an Attorney General opinion that says people are not obligated to give their address when they speak. So the two places in that ordinance, we'll amend that accordingly to take out the word addresses. And also in the existing section A1, that's somewhat redundant because anyone could speak on an agenda matter, so you don't have to be recognized, just put in your name. So I'll take out one, so then it would just be an individual desiring to address and or comment on the agenda item shall submit a paper to the city clerk prior to the start of the city council meeting containing his or her name and the agenda item to be discussed. Comment should be limited to 3 minutes and should be made from the podium so it is in view of the camera recording city council meetings. Comments at the end of the meeting shall be open to all matters of public concern. Comment should be made into the microphone, but the person need not come to the podium. So we'll take out that one I on the sample that you have, except for the second sentence, and just add that to the second sentence on the next, and take out the requirement that people have to provide their addresses in the two places where it's presented in this ordinance.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the ordinance as written and read?
As amended. So moved.
As written and read, as amended.
Second.
I have a motion by Alderman Mueller, second by Alderman Radke, to approve the ordinances written and read with the amendments that have been mentioned. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, I think a lot of times people are somewhat intimidated by coming in front of a podium to speak. So I do like the idea that they can stay seated without giving their address and state whatever problems they might have or whatever dealings they have. And I think this ordinance does address that, right?
That's correct.
Yes, Alderman.
They have the right.
I mean, the original requirement was just so people that are watching at home or want to view it subsequently could see them, but to the extent that it might have inhibited questions, this will make it more free-flowing.
I like the old-time informal meetings when people would have questions that basically, hey, my neighbor's got a loud dog, or things that the city could solve. But, you know, I do understand that there are some procedures in place and there are some rules. But again, I'd like to see them as informal as possible.
But they'll still be required to use the mic because the audio is recorded, audio and video, but we're not requiring.
And that's fine. I think if you take the intimidation away by standing in front of a podium, I think that does help some people.
We should also note that it is highly recommended to have an ordinance on file regulating that.
It's been requested that we approve it. So anyway, we have a motion by Alderman Mueller, second by Alderman Radke. If there's no further discussion to approve this ordinance as written and read with the amendments, we'll have a roll call vote. Clerk, call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke. Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Motion approved.
Next is an ordinance authorizing a contract for legal services with Thomas McFarland concerning Peru Rail. Be it ordained, the mayor is authorized to execute a contract for legal service between the city and McFarland, a copy of which is attached. Mr. McFarland is a gentleman in his late 60s, would be my guess, if meeting him, but his whole life has been involved with railroad and railroad work. The mayor and I had met with him. I think we're impressed. He works solely on an hourly rate at $310 an hour, plus out-of-pocket expenses. Particularly, he has many decade working experience on the other side of matters with Fletcher and Sippel out of Chicago, who does most of the railroad work in Chicago. So,
Okay, we have a motion to approve the execution of the contract for legal services with Thomas F. McFarland for Prue Rail.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
I have a motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Lukosius to approve the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion? Roll call vote, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Motion approved. Anything further from the attorney?
no, Your Honor.
Let's see, you have something, Clerk Bartley, right?
This is an ordinance forgiving interfund debts owed by the Water and Sewer Enterprise Fund to the Electric Enterprise Fund. Whereas the Finance and Safety Services Committee of the city has further determined that it is prudent, advisable, and best interest of the city that an interfund debt owed by the city Water and Sewer Enterprise Fund to the Electric Fund be forgiven. This is basically the amount that the city charges itself for electricity for the services under the water and sewer, like the water treatment, the wastewater plants, things like that. So we're paying for the services, and then we're forgiving the debt for those services and keeping the funds in the water and sewer fund. And it's been in place in order to strengthen up the general fund and the water and sewer fund. Gary, you have any more details?
No, and I think you hit on it pretty well, Clerk Bartley. What this basically was a recapitalization plan for the water and sewer fund. I think the public has to understand that over the past 10 years, a lot of the infrastructure projects that have been done, including areas 4 and 6, have been placed on the back of the water and sewer fund to cash flow those. And in many times, some of these multi-million-dollar projects kind of drove the water and sewer fund into a negative territory. We've got it positive. I mean, there's not any surplus there, to be quite frank. But we had started this endeavor about 3 years ago to recapitalize it by forgiving the purchase power, since that is the biggest expense besides infrastructure projects that the water and sewer funds has. Now, we anticipate that this recapitalization will be complete this year. We will unwind what we're doing between now and the end of this fiscal year. I think the only thing we're really looking at are some of the internal rates that we charge each other. In other words, we throughout the city, there's a 15% markup for any of the entities that basically buy power from the water or from the electric light fund, and we're sitting there making discussion about making that a break-even rate. There's no sense in driving a weaker fund such as the water and sewer fund into the red for the benefit of a stronger fund. So this way we'll be able to use that savings for infrastructure in the future. So, like I said, it's worked out real well, and hopefully this will be the last year for it.
I think the other thing we probably want to mention is you and I this weekend had the opportunity to consult with our consultant, and it was pretty evident that Prue is probably one of the only municipalities that they deal with that charge their own funds for power. So,
yeah, in that format, you're essentially charging the residents of Prue a double system, both for electrical and the water, which really doesn't make sense.
That is correct. We're sitting there, we're charging the residents of Prue to cover that expense.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve this ordinance as written and read?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
I have a motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Lukosius to approve the ordinance as written and read. Is there any further discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari. Waldorf. Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke. Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Is there any further ordinances?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business?
I just have a question. There was a couple of plan commission hearing and an ordinance on the agenda about a special use permit. Was that on there by mistake or?
That one, withdrew. That was another, medical marijuana, cultivation center, also a casino bingo, and they withdrew their petition. Paid the fee, but then subsequently withdrew.
And weren't the growers, I think the applications today was the close of the window? Yeah.
Any other unfinished business? Any new business?
Yes, Your Honor. We do have a motion tonight to hire selected candidate for the new position of financial officer. I'll go a little bit into it. What we're looking for is really relatively a CPA for the first time in the city of Peru. And let me first state that it's not, the position hasn't been developed because of financial problems. Currently we have a balanced budget, emergency funds, reserve funds, and we have revenues to meet the bond obligations. There hasn't been really any noted problems or weaknesses with the current situation. This position is really to ensure independent tracking of the revenues and expenses of our city. It will have the expertise of a CPA along with the delegation and separation of the duties when it comes to a revenue standpoint for our city. Proper investment avenues will be looked at, tracking of funds in the correct department, meeting with our accountants on a regular basis to really further ensure the financial systems of the city. I think it should be a sense of relief for the residents that Peru is taking additional steps to ensure the financial stability of our city, and hope that this position will accomplish that task. So tonight I'd like to make a motion to hire the selected candidate. The candidate will be working here for $62,000 a year, plus the benefits that the normal full-time employee would receive. That candidate will be released to the public after they meet all of our background checks and things of that nature.
I will second that, Your Honor.
A motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Ferrari, to hire the selected candidate for the new position of finance officer and paid at the rate of $62,000. Is there any discussion?
The only thing I'd add is there was some question about requirements, and I do think it's very important the city hire a CPA. You know, when you're dealing with public money, I think you want to make sure you have someone who has the proper certification, the qualifications. So if we're hiring an engineer, we get someone who's licensed, or a CPA, we should find someone who's licensed also.
I agree with that. There were some applications that had years of experience and expertise that were not CPAs, and that was one of the job clarifications. I think you stated it very well. I agree with you.
And the other thing is the city did interview, all the candidates who met the requirements were interviewed, is my understanding. Correct, Clerk Bartley?
That's correct.
Gary, is there anything that you further want to add to this position?
No, I think that the general public has to understand that financially we've come a long way over the last 5 or 6 years. And now we're to the point now where we have to strengthen internal controls, and we have to sit there and strengthen the accounting procedures that we have. And the individual that we're hiring tonight, being a CPA, is basically being put in place with that designation because he's going to have to deal with a lot of CPAs. Also, it is, like I said, after having to deal with Moody's and a bunch of other people over the years, you need to have the certain qualifications that this particular individual will bring to the table for us. So, like I said, I know that I am extremely excited about bringing this particular individual in. I think the council is, and I think that we're going to put together a nice little financial division that I think will be a very big asset to the city of Peru.
Anybody else?
When you're talking about a financial division, the idea is to pull that out of the clerk's umbrella and put that in its own department so that the people receiving cash in the clerk's office are not the people who, you know, you really have that separation of duties, which is important in this business.
Yeah, and you're talking a city of revenues in excess of $50 million. If you look to the private sector and you have a business that large, you may see a whole department of CPAs with that financial ability. So I think the city's certainly on the right step.
I had the opportunity to sit through the interview process, and at least with this individual, and I was quite impressed with his education and enthusiasm. So I'm quite interested and excited to see him start with us. So.
Okay, if there's any further comments? Okay, we'll have a roll call vote. Clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Koshis.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Okay, motion approved.
I'd be happy to. We also have a motion tonight to seek applications for the position of bookkeeper. We will have an opening within the office that will be happening with some retirement. That bookkeeper position will be hired by the financial officer when that's in place.
And who was the second?
And again, this is a replacement of a current position that we have.
And our intentions at this time are to stay within our wage ordinance on this employee. We'll see what comes in, we'll see what happens. So, okay, is there any discussion on that? Okay, we'll have a roll call vote. Clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Aye. Koshis.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, I would like to make a motion authorizing compensation for the positions of administrative, ASM and PSM. ASM Doug Burnaby and PSM Jeff King.
I'll second that, Your Honor, and I'd just like to give a little timeline here on this history. On January 1st, Doug and Jeff stepped up and agreed to supervise our Public Works Department after our city engineer at the time and also our superintendent of Public Works left over the Christmas holiday. They supervised that department through one of the worst winters in decades, and no one expressed anything but appreciation for what they did for us. The department has ran effectively as anyone could have ever hoped since they took over management. I think anyone could look around the city and review all of the work done this spring and summer, and I would hope that they would agree that their efforts have been remarkable. In the spring, the city advertised for a new electric superintendent with the retirement of Jim Putoff. That search produced no viable candidate, and again, Doug and Jeff stepped up along with the general foreman of the electric department, Kai Kaczynski. Again, Doug and Jeff agreed to take on supervision of the electric without any additional compensation. I want to remind all of you that cities across the state are having difficulty attracting qualified managers for their municipal electric departments. Our electric department has the honor of running amazingly well since these men have stepped in. As a council, we also agreed to search for a director of public utilities that could manage both public works and the electric department. Doug and Jeff agreed to serve as administrative services manager and public services manager without pay, as we all expected to have someone on board by the fall. The Public Services Committee, along with the HR manager, conducted a nationwide search for a public utilities director. We received a limited number of applications, none of which turned out to bring more expertise or experience than we already possessed in our department. So that brings us to where we are now. We think the mayor, council, clerk, and treasurer should all take pride in the team that we have assembled. With the addition of our city engineer, Eric Carls, and soon to be named finance officer, we firmly believe we are headed in the right direction. We still need to make some decisions about the final pieces of the puzzle for the long-term management of the public works and the electric department, and also move in the direction of a full-time city administrator. The Public Services Committee is open to continuing to look towards such a long-term plan. However, out of fairness to Doug and Jeff, we are recommending that they receive some compensation for their work, and at this time, the Public Services Committee would also like to offer our appreciation and support for their efforts. The compensation at the Public Services Administrator will be compensated $12,000 per year, and the Administrative Services Director will be compensated $15,000 per year.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Lukosius. Is there any further discussion?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd just like to offer my opinion. I think the city's made great strides by hiring an in-house engineer. We have a tremendous amount of infrastructure. I think there's over $4 million of projects currently right now. I think that technical ability will pay for itself. I think we also deserve to hire a full-time public works supervisor. The electric department currently has the technical ability and the supervision in-house to make that work. My fear, which is really that these current individuals that handle the police department, fire department, zoning department, public safety officer, and now a couple other departments, it's a great task, and I think a city of our size really deserves a full-time police chief, a full-time public works director. I think that the job description in itself was basically designed to fail. And the reason I say that is because it was a definite tough market to find both an electrical engineer or somebody with equivalent experience with public works and construction management. I think that was a very tough situation to handle for a community of our size and what we would pay. I think what we really need is simply a full-time public works manager, and I think I've stated that from time and time again, that the right position for the city to go is into that direction. Not necessarily for the public works, but also for the other departments that we get the full-time supervision for that too.
I think your assessment of the job description being designed to fail is totally wrong. It was worded with the input of several people, including our HR person, Kim Reese, and it was worded with the idea of a public utilities manager. That search went nationwide. The search was legitimate and it was honest. And the fact that we're here is no reflection on the job description or the effort.
I'd also say I agree that, you know, these guys have done a tremendous job. I really would defy anybody in town. You know, if you think that these guys haven't done a good job, then there's nothing wrong with these guys. There's something wrong with you. And the fact is, they deserve to be paid. And the other thing I'll say is, you know, I look for, you know, where I work, I look for young, you know, look for engineering type people, professional people, and everybody thinks it's an employer's market. And the fact is, it's really not. It's really, really hard to find people, you know, technical, degree type people are very, very difficult to find right now.
Yes, I'd like to also add that, you know, with the fact that the mayor is our IMEA representative and I am on the IMUA board, and these boards are, you know, we meet about once a month, and all of these other cities that belong to the to this organization are experiencing the same problems. And they told us right from the get-go when we advertised with them that you're going to have a difficult time, that, you know, these people just aren't readily available. And we found that, you know, with the application process. We received 4 applications for Director of Public Utilities. So that's where we are.
Well, I think what that tells you is that position in itself was difficult to fill, and you should look at the positions that we currently need. I mean, we have the technical aspects, we believe, from the electric department in-house. What we basically need is just somebody full-time to oversee or give the management of the public works department. And hey, these guys may be Superman, but it's certainly a difficult task when you've got to do a full-time job in police, fire, zoning, and public safety, and then add that to their current positions. I can't imagine it happening for a long-term basis.
The ASM and the PSM are combined positions, and being that Chief King is my immediate supervisor at the fire department, and there's compensation involved, I'm going to abstain from this vote.
Okay, is there any further discussion? I will have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
No.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Abstain.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
And Sapienza.
Aye.
Okay, that's 6-1, 1 abstain. Okay, motion approved. All right, do we have any other new business? Proclamations.
Yes, Your Honor, we have a couple. The first one is from the Daughters of the American Revolution. It's a, would you like to read it?
I'd just read this, I wouldn't go through the thing.
September 17th, 2014 marks the 227th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States by the Constitutional Convention. So we're going to recognize that tonight.
And then now therefore I, Scott Harrell, Mayor of the City of Peru, do hereby proclaim September 17th through 23, 2014 to be Constitution Week. Do we have a motion to receive, place on file, and declare September 17th through 23 as Constitution Week?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Mueller to declare Constitution Week. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Next, we have a Community Bullying Prevention Month proclamation. Whereas bullying continues to run rampant in every state on the nation, and cyberbullying, sexting, text bullying increase the accessibility of bullying exponentially, with 25% of adolescents and teens reporting being bullied repeatedly through their cell phones or the internet, and depression, low self-esteem, self-injury, poor academic courses, truancy, and suicide, bullicide are among various detrimental effects of bullying. And an estimated 160,000 kids stay home from school every day because of their fear of being bullied, and approximately two-thirds of all children who are bullied endure their pain in silence for reasons such as fear of being misunderstood, fear of retaliation, fear of suffering additional consequences for telling. And many adults fail to assess the seriousness of this problem, often stating that kids will be kids, and disregarding the damaging effects this repeated behavior has on the child being bullied, the person who bullies, and the community as a whole. Therefore, Scott J. Harrell, Mayor of the City of Peru, by virtue of the authority vested in the laws of the United States, does hereby proclaim the month of October as Community Bullying Prevention Month.
We have a motion to receive, place on file, and declare.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
The month of October as Operation Bully Proof. I have a motion by Alderman Ferrari, second by Alderman Perez. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Any other?
No further proclamations, Your Honor.
Okay, petitions, communications.
Yes, we have a communication from the Peru Fire Department requesting permission to hold an open house and family fun day at the fire department on October 11th and closing 5th Street between West Street and Grant Street.
Do I have a motion to receive communication, place on file, and grant permission?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
I have a motion by Alderman Ferrari, second by Alderman Perez to receive the communication, place on file, and grant permission. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Next, we have a communication from the Illinois Valley Rotters Car Club requesting permission to hold their annual car show on Sunday, August 16, 2015, from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Do we have a motion to receive, place on file, and I guess you'll jot it down on the calendar. Normally, we don't reserve them until after the first of the year, but you're going to jot it down on the calendar.
We'll jot it down on the calendar, and they're also noting that they're going to be working with the Peru CSO. So this is a continuation of last year's CSO picnic that combined with the car show. So I think it's...
This year we hope to make it bigger and better.
There was a busy park that day. So anyway, do we have a motion to receive communication, place on file, grant permission?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Alderman Sapienza, second by Alderman Mueller. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
I don't know that this might be out of date, but we have a communication from Kelly Saylor of EV Studio requesting a special use permit for medical marijuana dispensary.
So that hearing's already,
EV Studio?
yeah, what they need to do is also a text amendment. The filing deadline was today, except for the fact that zoning could be submitted after the fact. That's the only additional information that can be submitted in those applications is zoning. They take no further information unless there's a tie. If there's a tie, then they'll call in both applicants and make a decision from there.
I have a question, corporate counsel. This says dispensary. This is a growing
You-
facility or?
No, that would be a dispensary. And they're going to need a text amendment because they're also talking about the casino bingo property. They would need a text amendment allowing that in that zoning classification in an M2, which that's presently zoned, and a special use for the dispensary.
But can we do this?
I recommend that we send it to the zoning board of appeals.
It'd go to the plan commission.
Or plan commission.
What was your question, Alderman? Well, first of all, we have a motion from Alderman Mueller, second from Alderman Waldorf to receive communication placed on file. Any discussion? You had something? Alderman?
Yeah, I just wonder how we do this, because, I don't know, it was in their comment, do we have to let the state decide who?
Yeah, no, one's the Department of Financial Regulation dispensary, the other is the Illinois Department of Agriculture.
This is just a communication we're forwarding it on.
No, all you're doing is taking it to the plan commission for a recommendation.
Receive, place on file, and refer to the planning commission for review and their recommendation. I have a motion by Alderman Mueller, second by Alderman Ferrari. If there's no further discussion, all in favor signify by aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carried. Do you have any other communication?
I just have a communication, I think I forwarded it along, but it was from St. Bede. They have their homecoming, Celebrate Our Spirit this weekend, and they're having their homecoming parade on Wednesday evening at 5:30 and inviting any city officials that would like to participate in the parade.
Okay.
I've got one, Your Honor. Correct me if I'm wrong. Chief King or Tom Reardon, is this Saturday the cookout? You want to quick say something about it?
It's on the menu.
And I'm sure if anybody's available to help, they'd be more than happy to have your services.
Great job organizing that, Tom. Appreciate you.
Okay, do we have any public comment? Once again, with the passing of the new public comment, we already have Claudia coming up. What we can do in the future is the podium that's used for adjudication, we can put it back by the chairs, and then the audience can grab the microphone off of it or step up to that podium, whichever you prefer.
I've talked to some of you in the chairs here, and everybody who lives in Peru got a blue piece of paper with 3 of these Hy-Vee forms. This is the weekend, this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So you got 3 if you got a city bill. I have some here if you need any more, and they're also at Dave Waldorf's shop. But if you aren't going to use all 3, perhaps you could give one of the other ones, the ones you're not using, to someone who is. Maybe look for somebody with a full basket shopping in Hy-Vee. And we only get to do this one weekend a year, so it's now or never. So thank you very much for your participation, and please try and get your friends, relatives, and neighbors to participate too.
10 minutes left in the second. There's 17, Jets 3.
Wow.
Okay.
They can copy those as well, can't they?
Now it's 6.
One thing that I'd add, you mentioned public comment, Your Honor. We probably need to get whatever the ordinance and the new rules either put in the back bookshelf, or if it makes more sense to put a poster or something on the back wall. I'm not sure what everybody thinks makes the most sense, but we need to have that available.
We'll immediately put them in. There was a couple changes made from what we've been going by. Now it's passed. It's official now. What does anybody think about a poster? It doesn't matter to me, but
sounds good. Something bigger.
Well, also the committees too, need to be, well, I mean, everybody speaks freely at the Plan Commission, Zoning Board of Appeals, but your subcommittees.
If people want to enter the room, they should know how to,
Well, we'll also put it in plastic and put it on that podium, which we'll put back there, and it'll be easier access for everyone. And so is there any other public comment? You can take the microphone and walk around with it. What's that? Okay, no closed session, and we have a motion for adjournment. Second? Who said second? Have a motion by Alderman Fryers, second by Alderman Lukosius. All in favor, signify by aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carried.